Not a huge fan of tradition. Normally, when a guy that looks like me starts using the word tradition, it's time to end the barbecue and go home early. But there are a few traditions that I hold to every year. Why am I using this word so much? Well, because we have a tradition at You've Got Mails. At the end of every episode, we actually do pull up a Google random number generator and pick the next movie. For this week's movie, Jason went against tradition. He decided to go rogue, pick it himself. I feel like I gave him a hard enough time during the episode that I don't need to do it now as well. So if you're one of those people that know Jason personally, maybe see him on Facebook, just give him a pat on the back. Tell him he tried. He tried his hardest. But now we're going to go back to tradition. Happy Leap Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Welcome to You've Got Mails.
CJ, what do you call an Irish person with 4 legs that never leaves your front porch?
Ooh, tell me.
Paddy O'Furniture. Welcome to You've Got Mails, everybody.
I love how you started with more comedy than this entire movie put together.
I don't know what you're talking about. This movie is comedy gold. Welcome to You Got Mails, everybody. I'm Jason. I'm here with CJ. And on today's episode, we'll be talking about 2010's Leap Year. Which right out of the gate, it should be called Leap Day, right?
It's Leap Day, right? Yeah.
No, the movie's called Leap Year, but it all happens in the span of like 3 days, not a year.
This is true.
Yeah, so automatically, points deducted.
I mean, look, man. I'm not even going to hide it. Points deducted from you. We give you the power, one time, to pick the movie.
Oh,
And you seized the means of production like Stalin, and it ended just as well.
listen, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how I even knew this movie existed. It was somewhere in like the back recesses of my brain that this was an appropriate movie to kind of put around St. Patrick's Day and Leap Day, which just occurred. And then, we got St. Patrick's Day. We're a day removed from St. Patrick's Day. And I wanted to pick something special because I love St. Patrick's Day. It's one of our favorite holidays. We get the gang together. We go hard. I wanted to do something special. I am deeply sorry.
We're off to a rough start for St. Patty's Day, buddy.
I am deeply sorry. So this movie stars Amy Adams.
Who's not Rachel McAdams.
She's not.
I realize that. Those are two different people. Did you know that?
I did know that. Yes,
I know that now.
Oh well, they got the Adams thing going on for them. And a guy named Matthew Good, who I'm not familiar with, and still not familiar with.
He's like 98% of James Marsden. He's everything but the chin. He actually has no chin.
No chin.
Take this as a person who I have the wrong amount of chins. This guy also has the wrong amount of chins in the other direction.
You guys could get together and you could make a normal looking human being out of it.
There is one point where they showed him from the side and his nose went directly to his neck.
All right, well.
Like a Bob's Burgers character.
All chins aside, this movie is a...
Fired up, buddy.
Man, this movie. What can I say about this movie?
It also has Adam Scott.
That CJ's not going to say about this movie. Yeah, it does have Adam Scott.
I love your boy Adam Scott.
You gotta like him. But you couldn't even like him in this movie. There was literally... All right, let's just get into the meat of things. Let's talk about this movie.
This is going to be great. I've been thinking about this all day.
Yeah.
Because, the way we do this is you usually work through the movie.
Correct.
How are you going to do it this time? Because it is just one bland thing to the next. And they all kind of blend together.
So this is the beige of romantic comedies is what
yeah.
this is.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get through it. I think, I'll get through it. Just like I got through the big mixed drink I drank right before this episode, just to get through this episode.
That's how you know it's going to be good, because we've been doing these sober for a couple weeks. And you showed up with a bottle of whiskey.
This movie knocked me right off the wagon. So let's get into it. The whole premise of this movie, it's called Leap Year. There is an old Irish tradition, which I looked this up, this is actually a real thing, that once every 4 years during a leap year in Ireland, on Leap Day, a woman can ask a man to marry her. Which, ladies, if you're out there listening, I'm all for women's empowerment. You can ask a man to marry you any day.
Why is that not really a thing?
I don't...
if my wife would have asked me to marry her, I would have been like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Traditions. I mean, we just watched Runaway Bride not too long ago, and she proposed to him at the end of that movie. So it does happen.
I wouldn't have had to pawn half my video game collection for a ring. She could have done it herself.
But so this movie is based off of that old Irish premise. We are introduced right out of the gate to Amy Adams' character. For the life of me, I can't remember what her goddamn name was.
Amy Adams.
No, it was not Amy Adams. Amy Adams' character's name is Anna. We are introduced to Anna right out of the gate in what normally I enjoy quite a bit of montage. But this was like the weirdest montage ever because you got a montage of all these little scenes of her. And this, listen, there's a lot of times in these romantic comedies that I don't understand why I'm supposed to like the main character. It's like they went out of their way to make her look awful in the first, basically throughout this whole movie. But the opening montage is just her giving off real big, like, bougie, pardon my French, rich bitch energy. Like, just, she is not a nice person to, like, pretty much everyone.
She's almost kind of, doesn't give a shit about other people's opinions or their thoughts or their emotions.
Yeah, and I think there's a bit like an OCD component, because this movie does not do a good job of really anything. But it's like they sprinkle in like these little pieces where, like, if it was fleshed out more, like, she's clearly a control freak. She likes to make all the plans. She likes things to be like down to a science. They kind of give you that, but it's not really addressed. And then when it is addressed, they address it like, oh, you were supposed to know this the whole time. And then when you kind of think back on it, you go, well, yeah, I guess maybe, but you didn't do a real good job setting any of this shit up. But yeah, but what I was saying about the montage is, usually a montage is like a bunch of little scenes that they try to like give you a passage of time showing you what's going on. This montage, they showed you all these little clips of each scene and then proceeded to show you bigger parts of that scene directly after. You know, you get a little glimpse into her like work life. She's a stager for like realtors. So, which is a real job.
It is. It's a very odd one to mix into a movie.
It is, and she does it well. I mean, you're given the impression she does it well. So she goes in to an empty apartment that someone's trying to sell or rent, and she'll furnish it, put up pictures, make the person, when they walk in, go, imagine themselves in that home. And then
this is that HGTV shit.
Yes, and then they
like when they sell the house at the end of the TV show, but then they just rip all.
And then they take it all away, and you're left with an empty husk of a home. That you have to furnish yourself with a few milk crates and a cinder block with a TV on it
because you just bought a HGTV house.
Exactly. So we get that. We get scenes. You know, we find out that her and Adam Scott, whose character's name is Jeremy, is her boyfriend, are trying to get into a very upscale apartment. They have to sit in front of a board and basically explain to them why. You know, very waspy, very.
This sounds like some rich people stuff. Because I couldn't comprehend it.
It's very white of them to have to like go through a process to get approved to give someone money to live where they fucking want to live. And then we get some scenes of her at her tailor, who is hemming a dress for her, and she's very rude to him and short with him, and I think kicks him at least twice on purpose.
And he stabs her with a pin.
He does stab her with a pin. This guy literally looks at the camera at one point and with his eyes says, "This woman's a bitch, you shouldn't like her." I was like, yeah, I don't. I get it. I don't like her at all. And then we get some other little scenes of her sitting in a bar waiting for someone, and we don't know who. So this montage just sets up all of these bigger scenes that play out directly after the opening montage of this movie.
And some weird guy at the bar who's trying to hit on her.
Yeah, I mean, he's got all the chins that Matthew Good doesn't. He's not a good-looking man, really. He's kind of like a schlubby Boston drunk who's at the bar who just kind of keeps making eyes at her while she's sitting there by herself at the bar. So we find out her and her boyfriend, Jeremy, they do the apartment board, you know, sit in front of their review board. They leave the apartment. They feel like it's gone well. And then immediately, like, these characters are so unlikable. Like, they have a full conversation after they leave this meeting while both just holding their phones and, like, staring into them. And it's just like, I don't like
that. Actually feels like a real relationship.
But not a good one. Like, it's not, these aren't people that you like, really.
These are people that are complacent with where they are.
Yeah, okay. All right. I agree with that. And just super, like, not involved. Not mentally there. And I don't mean mentally there like crazy, but, like, your mind is somewhere else instead of being present with the person you're with.
True.
But we get a little bit of exposition that they're going to have an important dinner this evening. Like, it's a special dinner, Jeremy calls it. We don't know why it's special. They don't explain why it's special. And he says that he's a surprise for her and she's going to really like it. All right, so we get that. That's our one scene from the montage that's extrapolated into a bigger scene. Then we get her at the tailor, and now while she's getting her dress hemmed at the tailor, her best friend runs in. Her best friend, surprisingly, a giant bird.
Yeah, I noticed.
Did you notice this? Just an ostrich of a person.
A huge freaking bird.
For those of you that haven't seen the movie, her best friend is played by Caitlin Olsen, one of the only bright spots of this movie. She plays Sweet D in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's why I'm calling her a bird. I actually think
And
she's
Big Bird on Sesame
a
Street.
lovely woman.
She's actually awesome. And
Here's another thing. If you look at these characters' names on IMDb, they have the same last name. Their characters do.
oh, she's a Brady?
Yeah, so she's related to her in some way, but it's never, well, I mean, it is in Boston. Everybody in Boston's last name's Brady, right? But why would you give characters in the same movie the same last name unless they were supposed to be related?
I mean, Boston's kind of like Little Ireland. I get the point.
It is,
the
but I
idea.
think this is also just more laziness on the part of the people that made this movie, where they probably are sisters, or at least cousins, and it's never addressed.
I could see that.
Yeah. So she comes in, tells her, hey, I saw Jeremy leaving some fancy jewelry store on the way here. That can only mean one thing. Engagement ring.
Of course.
They both get very excited. That's our other little scene. Then we get her sitting at the bar, and we get to meet her dad.
John Lithgow.
The wonderful John Lithgow. How the fuck did they get John Lithgow in this movie?
He must have been driving through Boston that day. And why wasn't he in at any other point of this movie? This is the first and last time we see him. They set up a lot of backstory with this guy really fast, and then we never see him again.
And he's talked about throughout the movie. Now, I do think there's a dinner party at the end of the movie, and I kind of think I saw him in the crowd. So I feel like maybe there were some scenes with John Lithgow that were left on the cutting room floor,
Such a shame.
but I'm not sure. Yeah,
Probably.
He probably asked to be removed from this movie.
I'm an Adam Scott fan. Love Severance, Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
But John Lithgow was the best part of this entire movie, and they just got him all the way out.
barely.
Terrible.
Barely in it. So he comes into the bar, schlubby guy from earlier we're talking about, starts to kind of hit on Amy Adams' character, and she says, I can't, I'm soon to be engaged, and John Lithgow comes in and hears this and goes, oh my goodness, engaged, how wonderful. Let me buy you some champagne. And he looks in his wallet and has nothing, and he's like, maybe a few beers. Let's get a few beers. And, this is where we kind of get the story about, he says, well, it's a good thing he asked now, or you might have had to fly to Ireland to ask him yourself. And he gives her the whole leap day spiel, the Irish
It's a
folklore.
verbal shoehorn of exposition.
It really is.
I felt violated.
And I guess we should say that Jeremy, Adam Scott's character, he's a cardiologist and is about to fly to Ireland for some kind of conference.
Who likes to show off awful pictures of people's surgeries gone wrong. Like during romantic dinners.
He does. There's a point where he's on the phone and he goes, oh, he's saying they're going to have to go in through the spine. And I was like, I don't think that's ever a good way to get to someone's heart. Like, I don't think that's accurate. This guy's a horrible cardiologist.
And this is a real thing. My sister is a lifelong nurse.
Okay.
She's been nursing for, 20 years at this point.
Mm.
She does.
She nurses hard.
She nurses hard. She does have pictures on her phone. Sometimes she has to take pictures of things.
Right.
No problem, just busting out the most graphic things I've ever seen. Hey, look at this wound. Doesn't this look like Uncle Tom?
I do.
And I'm, oh, God!
Jesus. I do think that people in that field,
Desensitized.
they do become desensitized to it. And sometimes, you kind of have to be, because you see that just horrible shit every day. And you kind of have to find a way to cope with it and kind of almost like shut your brain off to what it actually is you're looking at. And it's more or less just, to you, it's nothing. And then the person you show it to, it's a goddamn nightmare fuel.
Yeah, whatever evil creature wrote this movie probably had like a brother or a sister that was a doctor and was like, oh yeah, this is a real thing that happens.
Whatever awful creature wrote this movie, I hope is not writing movies anymore. That's what I hope. So from there, we get to the dinner, the important dinner. Jeremy kind of gives her a spiel. This is again, like he says, I appreciate so much how you plan everything and you plan this dinner for us. So you can kind of tell she makes a lot of plans. She plans hard. He pulls out a little box, a little jewelry box, and gives it to her at the table. She opens it up. What does she find? 2 diamond earrings.
Yeah, 2 diamond earrings that are 6 months of my mortgage.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Heartbreaking.
It is if you're expecting an engagement ring. And this is the point where I had to ask myself, like, how dense is this guy? You build this up as a special evening and a surprise that she's never going to forget, and you give her a ring-sized box. How do you not expect her to be disappointed?
You gotta be plotting that in the background.
You put him in a bigger box is what you do. You don't give a box the size of a wedding ring to someone who's probably expecting a wedding ring.
This is true.
You've got to figure out a better way to do it, or you put it in like a little pouch or something. I don't know. You got there's better ways to deliver those 2, I'm sure, massively expensive earrings. But she's clearly a little disappointed. And then he gets another text about having to go and help with the surgery, shows her some more gross pictures, and he out the door, seemingly leaving her with the bill and some earrings that she didn't want.
On those earrings.
Yeah, so
Pay a lot of bills.
They would. So she goes home, tosses and turns in bed. Here's the second time John Lithgow's in this movie, probably just his voice, kind of rehashing the leap day, you asked the guy to marry you story. And it's at this point she decides that she's going to fly to Ireland the next day. And she has about, 3 days to get there? And she wants to get there a day or 2 ahead of time, buy a nice dress. She has to buy a ring now, which hopefully there's just a good return policy on those earrings and she can just kind of do like a swap and get the ring. And she's going to ask Jeremy to marry her. And this is what kind of kicks our...
Exposition.
A lot of exposition for really no payoff whatsoever.
For being on a plane with the priest. This is their idea of comedy in this movie, is her just talking a priest's ear off.
Until he falls asleep, which
Until
at this
he
point,
falls asleep.
I was dozing as well. Like, I couldn't blame the guy.
And then she ends up, there is massive turbulence, which
bad
causes
weather.
them to land short of Dublin.
They land in Cardiff, Wales.
Have you ever had turbulence?
No, I've only ever flown once in my life.
Turbulence is fucking awesome. Like, you are... Okay, you're in a giant steel tube. I am still massively surprised that humans get in giant metal tubes and catapult themselves long distance.
It is. It's amazing.
It's amazing when you really think about
Sometimes when I'm on the ground and I see a plane, I just look up at it and I go, huh, I'll be goddamned.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe this is a thing that happens.
But to be on one of those and suddenly it drops 70 feet, it is a really amazing feeling. And you know you're probably safe. Very rarely do these things fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
It is one of the ways on my list of best ways to die. Plane crashes way up there.
Wow.
Because it's going to happen fast and everybody's going to talk about you forever.
I don't know.
But like every time I've ever been in turbulence, I love it. Like, it just gets me.
There might be something wrong with you.
It is amazing. I've been in situations where I'm scared shitless. Turbulence is not one of them.
Huh, I'll be damned. That's an interesting fact that I've learned about you today. So, the turbulence does not take the plane down in this case.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, this movie would have been a lot shorter and a lot easier to get through had it did. She lands in Cardiff, Wales, and we get some more scenes of her just being a spoiled, entitled brat. Again, not doing a whole lot to make me care about this character in this movie. She is literally the worst person.
Agreed.
Yeah, just going up to the people at the ticket counter, kind of pleading her case. I need to get here. This is why. And they just kind of brush her off and they're kind of rude to her, but with good reason. Like, I don't think that there's a reason that they shouldn't be. So she can't fly out, clearly. So she goes to another station where the ferry is, tries to get a ferry. The guy tells her there that because of the weather, the ferry's been canceled. And it's storming out. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, like, calm down. Get a hotel room.
Yeah, exactly. She's got all this. I mean, she's got plenty of time. She has 3 days to get there. Clearly she has the money because she just booked a last-minute flight to Dublin. Like, she could have stayed one night and then flew out the next day when the weather was good. But no, she has to have exactly what she wants when she wants it.
You'd think a woman of her position and her neuroses would have some Xanax. Like, just pop a couple Xanax, watch some bad TV in the hotel room, chill out, relax, go to Dublin in the morning.
Yeah. Perfectly good scenario. But no, that's not what she wants. So when she can't get a ferry ticket, she storms off and says, I'll find a boat of my own. Like there's just boats out there just picking up random American white ladies and taking them places. That's how no one ever hears from you again.
This is how you become property and sold.
Yes. But she's not that bright. She goes and she gets on what looks like, I don't even know, like a little tugboat? Like it looks like a fishing boat maybe. She found someone to take her, and we get a scene of them out in the middle of the ocean. The storm is raging. The guy tells her that, they aren't going to make it to Cork, which is where they were supposed to go. She's going to have to drop them, or he's going to have to drop her in a different town. The name of this town? Dingle. Dingle, Ireland.
Real town.
Famous for their berries, I hear. Anyhow.
Wow.
So she gets dropped in Dingle. And you're right, it is a real town. More just laziness from the people that created this movie. I don't know if you know this, but from where she was in Cardiff, Wales, to take a boat to Cork, which is where they were heading, they would have to have had passed Cork and gone about another 3 hours to get to Dingle.
Oh, don't start looking for logic in this now.
So, not only did
You're not going to find it.
Not only did she find a boat, she found a horrible boat captain that doesn't know where he's going.
Let's find the plot before we find logic.
And they boated 3 extra hours in a terrible storm just to drop her off in the town of Dingle. The town of Dingle, by the way, is adorable. And I think they only did that just so they could use the town of Dingle, because it is fun to say.
This is the one thing, too. The one thing about this movie is, like, one of my dreams is to go to Ireland.
Yeah, it made me want to go there.
And this is where I want to go. I want to go to that little town, to that same little bar.
Yes. So she they drop her off on the beach, and at this point, too, they drop her on the beach by Dingle, and the weather has cleared up, and there's just a scene of the boat, like, leaving her. So the storm's not that bad anymore, because the boat's still out in the water. He's just going back to do his thing.
Yeah.
So why did they drop her?
Well, because this is where she is captured and killed.
So she's on a beach in heels. This is the other thing about this movie that drives me crazy. She didn't pack any sensible shoes for this trip. Every part of this movie, she's in heels. She is traipsing across the Irish countryside in heels. Now, I've never worn heels. I've never walked in heels. Ladies, I'm guessing it's not that it's not easy, but you don't want to walk for like miles and miles in them.
This is like the dumbest forced trope ever, too.
They really, it's like fish out of water. Like,
yeah, she's got heels on. Like,
yeah.
You're on a plane. Throw on some Keds or whatever.
Yeah, like you were going away for 3 days. You didn't pack one pair of flats? Like nothing? Like, ugh. Anyhow, so she's on this beach. She walks into this adorable little town of Dingle. And I said to I want to go here. Like, just like you. Like, this is the kind of place I would feel really good about being. Her, not so much. So she finds the one little bar in Dingle, and she comes in and, she asks for a taxi service or a way to get out of there. And these old men, these old Irish guys tell her that, there hasn't been a train or a bus out of that town going to Dublin since like 1980 something. So she asks for a taxi service. The bartender hands her a card, points her in the direction of a phone. She calls. We find out that the taxi service is the barkeep. And this is where we meet Mr. Zero Chins, Declan, played by Matthew Good.
With a weird little devil eyes. Like, his eyes are, like, all black. Like, I don't know. This guy just bothered me.
Nobody in this movie had any real charisma or any, like even him. Like, he should be the likable character. And he doesn't really do anything that makes you not like him. And he's rude to her, but it's warranted. Like, she's an entitled brat. She pretty much just, like, is rude to him the entire time, so he gives it right back. There's no reason for you not to like him, and you still don't like him.
This is starting to become my least favorite trope in any of these movies. It started with The Notebook.
It's the negging?
Uptight girl meets loose-spirited guy who nags her into love.
Yeah.
And, like, every part of that bothers the hell out of me. Is that what women are watching these movies for? Like, I want to be nagged by a super hot guy. I mean, this guy was not even hot.
No. You do hear, you hear that girls like the bad boy. It's like it's a thing. I've seen it myself in real life, that girls go for the bad boy or, like, the guy who's not the nicest, and for whatever reason that attracts them.
This guy's just a dickhead bartender from Ireland.
He is, yeah, he is. But like I said, I don't even dislike this guy. And, like, I felt like if in all of these movies, like, his negging was the most warranted. Because she wasn't, like, nice to him at all.
She was you said the word bratty.
Yeah.
She was very bratty.
Yeah. So he comes out, says that he's the driver. She asks if he'll drive her to Dublin. He says no, he hates Dublin, will never go to Dublin. Doesn't say why, just it says it's full of liars and cheats. It's a horrible town. He makes it sound like fucking Mos Eisley from Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched wretched hive of scum and villainy than Dublin, my dear. So, she asks, well then, I'll stay the night and I'll get a ride in the morning. Is there a hotel around? Of course, the bar. This is the one-stop shop in Dingle. He's the bartender. He's the taxi driver. He's also the innkeeper.
This guy wears a lot of hats.
He does. None of them very well.
We're all about the secondary grind, the secondary jobs on this podcast. This guy does none of them well.
No. His bar, as we find out, is going out of business. He doesn't have any business. His shit's about to get repoed. So she stays the night. There's a really forced scene where she basically just hulks out and destroys the room in about 30 seconds, just trying to plug her phone in.
This is an ongoing thing in this movie, is the idea that she has terrible luck and is just tragic as hell.
Yeah.
And it's the
Are they trying to make her feel sympathetic?
Subplot in this movie? It was, I mean, at multiple points, like, black cats cross her path.
Yeah, but
she breaks a mirror in this bedroom. Like, all the cliche bad luck things.
Yeah, but even that, like, they don't really explain or, like, see, I didn't catch that. And I know all the scenes you're talking about, but nothing was really, like, made of it. It's just, I guess you got to be a genius to figure out this movie and see all the little things that they tried to do that they didn't do. And so she stays the night. Next morning, she finally calls her fiance, soon-to-be fiance, and tells him that she's in Ireland and she'll see him in a few hours. And he's very excited to hear this. He's happy that she's there.
Great.
Also, she's like pretty much like, I'm trying to figure out a way to get there. I'll be there in a few hours. This guy's like a cardiac surgeon. He's not that far away. Leave the conference for 4 hours and pick up your girlfriend that's in a weird small town and doesn't know how to get where she's going. Or send a car, something. But no, he's like, all right, great. I'll see you when you get here.
Yeah.
I'm very busy cardiac surgeon.
Maybe you can find 97% of a man to drive you across the country.
That's right. Does the chin make up 3% of the body?
I don't know.
Anyhow, while she's on the phone with her soon-to-be fiance, she overhears Declan outside talking to some street toughs, the Irish mafia, I assume, in a blue van. And they're, kind of telling him, they owe him, owes him this much money by the end of the week, or they're going to come and repo the kitchen. Not the whole place, just the kitchen stuff.
Just the kitchen.
They're just going to take the kitchen. So she seizes the opportunity. This is, he's at a weak point right now. I know he needs the money. Let's hit him up again for a ride to Dublin.
To offer him less money than he needs.
Yeah, well, he needs like 1,000 euros, and she offers him 500. He takes her up on the offer because he's in a hard spot. This is where our road trip begins between the two of these, with some of the worst green screen.
I have this on my list.
Go ahead.
The worst green screen ever. This is, wait, when did this? 2010?
2010.
2010.
At this point, they'd already made me believe in dinosaurs. So
yes, we're 17 years post Jurassic Park.
Exactly.
I could green screen better than this.
Yes.
This was terrible.
Yes. We're in a car. And I looked up the budget of this movie. Like 19 million?
What did they spend it on?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure someone embezzled the money. Or someone was just like, this is a good reason to go to Ireland. Like, I've always wanted to go to Ireland. Let's go to Ireland and make a movie, and we'll just live it up and then make the cheapest, worst movie we can figure out on a small budget.
It's like an Adam Sandler thing where they're just like, hey, I wanted to have a nice vacation. Let's make a movie and have our vacation at the same time.
Exactly. So we're in the car, really bad CGI in the background. This is where we get one of the only few bright spots of this movie.
I know what you're going to say. You go ahead and tell them.
They're playing Flogging Molly on the radio.
Absolutely.
Which they're an Irish punk band that I like a lot.
Flogging Molly is one of the... I love punk music.
Yeah.
And I really think there's nobody that does it better than Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, Ireland, they have a history of reasons to be angry.
Yeah.
And get out the expression.
Yeah.
And Flogging Molly is number one. Top notch.
Yeah. So we get our Flogging Molly. And of course, again, Amy Adams ejects the cassette tape and throws it out the window. reason 9,000,003 for me to not like this woman.
I mean, they're also doing 20 miles an hour on a back road. Like, just stop and go get your damn cassette.
Well, they do.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, he gets mad.
Oh.
He gets mad and stops the car. This is what leads to halt. I mean, if she would have just kept the flogging Molly in the tape player, CJ, they would have gotten to Dublin just fine.
Yes.
But she doesn't. She throws it out the window. They go back to get it. By the time they walk back to the car, there is a herd of cows in the road. They can't get the car to go anywhere. So Declan just sits down and says he's going to wait for the cows to leave. Amy Adams' character is not happy about this and wants to get on the road immediately because she's a spoiled, entitled brat. She shoos the cows away. Meanwhile, she steps in a big pile of cow poop.
And this was disgusting. They're stepping in cow poop while you have, like, shoes on. She has, like, open-toed high heels. Like,
Yeah, it's
oh.
yeah, it wasn't great. So she goes over to the car. She tries to scrape the poo off on the front bumper. What happens? The car starts rolling down the hill in reverse. The car launches itself off of a hill into some water. Now they're stuck.
I mean, he blames her, but really, like, put the parking brake on, bro.
Yeah, you're right. But they weren't even on a hill.
No. Apparently, they were, like, on the set of the Blues Brothers, because that fucking car launched 30 feet in the air.
Dude, this whole goddamn movie. So now they have to walk to another town. They start walking. A blue van pulls up. It looks like the same blue van that the guys that were shaking down Declan for his bar stuff.
I didn't put that together.
But it's not the same people in it. So again...
Well, it's just the Irish Mafia, blue vans.
Again, I just think that they spent $19 million to go to Ireland and try to make this movie as cheap as possible. So they only rented one van instead of two different vehicles. So, Declan, they pull up alongside Amy Adams. She flags him down to get a ride. She goes to get in the car. Declan tells her, you do not want to talk to these guys. You don't want to talk to them. They seem real nice. They seem like they're going to give her a ride. They put her luggage in the van and then close the door and drive off. So now she's been
Best
robbed.
case scenario for what she was putting herself in right there.
Yeah. I mean, they could have been like, you get in too, and then you never see her again. This girl almost gets kidnapped multiple times in this movie.
It would have been a terrible situation, but at least the movie would have been over.
It would have. It would have. Declan just would have been like, well, I guess that's that, and then walks back home. But instead, they just take the luggage. So her and Declan continue to walk until they stumble across what appears to be a country western bar in the middle of Ireland, which I don't know if that's a real thing. I mean,
Weird pick.
It might be. I don't know. They go to a honky-tonk bar, walk inside. To this point, she's looking for another ride to Dublin. She's basically going to cut ties with Declan, get on the road, and get out of there.
Because he's the problem in this situation.
Exactly. So while she's on the phone, she peers into a back room. The three young street toughs that stole her luggage are all in there with her luggage open, wearing her underwear on their head. Because that's what you do when you steal a woman's luggage, apparently, is you just go through her unmentionables and,
Well, you skipped the bartender in this scene. Did you have to look him up too because you thought he was the Irish Larry Miller?
No.
He looked just like Larry Miller, who was the bartender on Runaway Bride.
Yeah.
And
The baggage guy from Valentine's Day.
yes. And I actually was like, oh shit, they got Larry Miller in this. That's great. Okay, things are looking up. And then I looked this guy up. He's just the Irish Larry Miller.
That was his cousin, Larry O. Miller.
Yes.
So she goes into the back room, confronts the guys that stole her luggage. They start to get a little rough. They stand up to her, kind of get in her face. This is when Declan walks in and basically, tells them, you're going to need to give the luggage back. A fight ensues where Declan kind of beats the shit out of all three of them. With a little help from Amy Adams. I think she smashes a bottle on one of them or kicks one of them in the shin. And this is where we see our first, and I believe you coined the phrase, and I'm going to continue to use this phrase, we get a little bit of a sploosh face. She sees Declan beat up all these guys, and her face says, sploosh. So we get our first this is her first time looking at him in a different light. Like, this guy is a protector, he's a tough guy. Sploosh. From there, they have the luggage back. The bartender hears the scuffle, kicks him out of the bar, so they have no way of getting to the next, they can't get a new cab, they can't do anything. Also during this scene, I believe she calls her fiance again.
Does she?
There's a couple different parts of this movie where she calls him and lets him know that she's having problems getting there. Maybe she doesn't call him in this scene. But there's a point where, like, I feel like when he tells her, or she tells him, I'll be there in like 4 hours or so, and it takes her 2 days to finally get there. Mm-hmm. At no point does this guy ever seem like he ever got concerned, like he was going to try to figure out where she was.
No, he's at a cardiologist convention. He's out there saving lives, man.
You're right. You're right. Now that they've been kicked out of this honky-tonk bar in the middle of Ireland, they keep on walking. The entire time she is in heels. This drives me crazy. But it is what it is.
Take the heels off. I don't know.
They walk to the bus station, and they walk to a train station. They finally find a train station. She walks in, and I actually did enjoy this part, because she walks in and says she's trying to get a train to Ireland, or train to Dublin. The old man that runs the train, the ticket taker, says, you're just in time. Train's only 2 hours and 40 minutes away.
It is a good line.
Yeah. That guy might be one of the few kind of like bright spots of this movie is that guy. And no, he's not even a bright spot because, there's no bright spots except for the flogging Molly. So they sit and they wait for the train. She gets a ticket. There is a horribly CGI'd castle on a hillside.
Yes.
That they're looking at from the train station, the platform. Declan says, that's one of Ireland's 7 great wonders. Some bullshit.
This is all to get in her pants, right?
I don't know what this is. No, you know what? These two have zero chemistry the entire movie. There's not a point in this movie where I think he wants to get in her pants.
And
yet they end up together. Spoilers. I mean, obviously that's what's going to fucking happen. So he takes her up to the castle. He finally convinces her. She doesn't want to go at first. He convinces her, we got 2 hours till the train comes. Let's go see something. Walks her up there, gives her like this little story about why the castle has significance. It's like a romantic story about a woman who was supposed to marry someone else and then falls in love with a different person and they run away together. And she kind of says, you're hitting on me. This is what you're doing. And he says no, and I believe him. Like, I believe he was just giving her a history lesson. I don't believe at any point, like, she's the only one that's made the sploosh face so far. Like, at no point in their travels has he seemed one bit interested in her, just inconvenienced.
He needs that money.
This leads me to a question that I have about this movie. Once his car is destroyed, why is he still following her around? And why is she still acting like she's going to pay him? Because at this point, he had one job, which was to drive her to Dublin. He can't anymore. Is he just like a tour guide? Is she paying him just to like get her around? Because he doesn't seem like he knows where he's at either.
I got the feeling that he was doing it to try to make sure she wasn't on the news later. Like, he knew that she was just going to get herself murdered out there.
Like, she's a pain in the ass, but he wants to help because he's at least has a good heart and doesn't want to just leave some American woman who has no idea where she is wandering the countrysides of Ireland.
Yeah, and she keeps saying, like, no, you have to come with me because you told me you'd get me to Dublin. But he's really just with her. Like, he doesn't have a car. He doesn't have a means to do it.
He's not helpful. Like, he doesn't know where he's going either. They just stumble across all this stuff. And now she, I'm assuming, paid for the train tickets for both of them. Mm-hmm. So she's just paying more money for no reason. As luck would have it, they missed the train again. So they're still stuck.
The train that showed up like 15 minutes instead of 2 hours later.
Yeah. So they go back down. We find out that the guy that runs the train station also has a bed and breakfast because apparently in Ireland, everybody has like 2 or 3 jobs.
Every town has one person that is just in charge.
They're in charge of transportation. They're in charge of lodging. They're in charge of food and drink.
I'm also the mayor, diddly dee.
So I think this guy's name is Frank, if I'm not mistaken. Frank takes them, good Irish name, Frank, takes them to the bed and breakfast where we get more exposition from the wife that another couple had just tried to come in and get a room, but they weren't married. And they don't give rooms to people that aren't married because they're good, I guess, Christians. I don't know. So now at this point, we get Amy Adams' character and Declan have to pretend like they're married.
They couldn't just pretend that they are cousins.
I guess not. I don't.
Yeah. This is my cousin, Amy Adams from Boston.
Anna, right?
Yeah.
Is that her name? I keep
Please don't put us in the same bed.
Yeah. So, they have to pretend to be married to stay in this bed and breakfast until the next day so they can keep traveling to Dublin. And this is kind of where you realize they both start to kind of get interested in each other, even though there's literally zero chemistry.
And this is the note I have. It's been one day. Calm the fuck down. Like, are you going to throw away your entire relationship over one terrible day with a stranger?
Yeah, well, I mean, this whole movie, like, they've only known each other for 2 or 3 days total when this movie, like, ends. And yet, you know, we'll get to how it ends, but slow down.
Take it easy.
So they share a room with a very small bed. They flip a coin to see who sleeps where. One of them's going to sleep in the tub. One of them is going to sleep in the bed. Declan loses. He has to sleep in the tub. We get a scene where the innkeeper says that they're going to have tripe for dinner. You know what tripe is?
I think it's pig intestines, right?
I think it's cow intestines.
Cow intestines.
It's some kind of intestine. No one wants to eat it. Amy Adams, Anna, suggests that, you know, Declan is a chef. He could cook dinner tonight. At no point in this movie did they ever say that this guy was a chef.
Well, he has a bar that serves sandwiches.
He made her a ham sandwich her first night in Ireland, and all of a sudden this guy's a chef. So, you know, they cook together. That's kind of a nice scene, I guess. For a movie like where I'm grasping at like scenes that I enjoyed or like thought was nice. Like I thought the cooking scene, because that kind of resonated with me. Because like when you're with somebody, like I don't know about you, but like I like to cook with like my significant other. That's like a fun, like in the kitchen, you're kind of close.
We got a
shopping.
small kitchen, man.
That's kind of fun though. You're kind of pushing behind each other. You're squeezing by. You're reaching over. Like it's a nice little, you know.
Some real pre-married talk you're using right there.
I'm sorry. I think cooking together is romantic. So we get that scene, and then we get a real weird dinner scene
with the weird Italian couple.
We find out that the bed and breakfast has one other set of guests staying, and they're like an older married Italian couple. And we get Frank and his wife talking about, like, you know, how they're still so in love after all these years. And the secret is really in the kiss. Like, when you kiss each other, you're supposed to kiss each other like it's the first time and the last time. So Frank and his wife kiss. And then the Italian couple are like, well, let me show you how we do it for an uncomfortably long amount of time.
Surprised they didn't bust out the pottery wheel during this
kiss. I wish I would have timed it. 15 to 20 seconds, like full tongue, older Italian couple. Just going at it.
I only lasted for like 12 of those seconds.
It was intense. So at this point, they do their thing, and then like they actually have to be stopped. Like I feel like the innkeeper's like, "Whoa, hey, come on now, it's dinner. Let's keep your pants on." And then they basically peer pressure Anna and Declan to kiss. Like the only way, like this Italian guy is gonna finish that night is if he sees them kiss. He's like, "Hey, come on, you gotta kiss a little bit. Give us a kiss." They kiss, and you know it's one of those kisses, and it's one of these tropes where two people who don't want to kiss each other and then start kissing each other and then can't stop kissing each other, and then they finally pull apart, and you know Anna kind of clutches her chest, and Declan's got a look on his face like, "Wow, that was pretty good." I'll call them sparks, finger quotes sparks, because like I said, there's no chemistry between these two at all. Cut to them back in the room. Declan, this was actually kind of funny. They do this big kiss. They kind of show the looks on their faces. Next scene, they're in the room. Declan's first line, "It's pretty wet." Talking about the shower.
Yeah.
Like he can't sleep in the tub because it's wet.
Sleep on the floor, bro.
Yeah, I know. So
there's lots of floor space there.
We know what Declan's angle is here.
At this point, he realizes, like, oh, I have a chance.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're both interested in each other at this point, even though it's hard to tell because the movie is just crap. But she lets him sleep in the bed. We get, I guess, like a sleep montage? Not even a sleep montage. We get like a tossing and turning montage with them. You know, neither one of them can really fall asleep. They're thinking about the other one. They turn at one point and kind of look at each other.
They make eye contact.
They look at each other in the eye and then quickly like roll back over and face the other way. Flash forward to the next morning. They're kind of spooning. Like it's very casual.
A little bit.
It's very casual. Like he's just got his hand resting on her shoulder. They're not touching anywhere else. It's just like one arm. Which I don't know about you. I can't sleep like that. I like a good spoon, but you gotta like really get in there. Like they were more like they were spooning as it like if it was like a real silverware drawer.
No, that underarm's gonna go to sleep. Top arm's great.
But his underarm wasn't even under there. Like he just had the one arm over. How spoons really rest against each other, which is cold and metallic, and not, with no emotion.
Wow.
So we had that. They wake up and then they're on their way again. They ask Frank if they can get a train. Trains don't run on Sunday, so they don't know what to do at this point.
You find out they don't have a car, Frank doesn't have a car.
No, Frank does have a car.
His wife got up early.
That's right.
To take it to Dublin.
Yeah, so they missed a ride to Dublin, which is great. I forgot about that. She won't be back for hours, and they're not going to drive to Dublin again. That's insane. So they start walking again, because apparently they're just going to walk to Dublin. Like, this whole movie, they've pretty much walked the entirety. I don't know how far it is from Dingle to Dublin.
I can tell you. I've looked it up.
Oh, yeah? How far is it?
4 hours and 17 minutes.
Driving?
Yes.
So if they walk it, that's what, 2 days probably?
Probably.
All right. So
In heels, 3.
Yeah, exactly. So they've decided to just hoof it to Dublin. This whole movie, they've pretty much walked everywhere. Her blisters, my God. It starts to hail, so they have to run, and they escape inside of a church, which I think is just there's not going to be anybody there, and they walk in on a wedding. They very graciously allow them to stay in from the storm and get away from the hail, and then somehow let them stay for the entirety of the wedding.
Yeah, they're at the reception.
Yeah, they made it to the reception.
They jump in on a bridesmaid's dance.
Yeah, they've become best friends with the bride and groom.
And now I have read about this, is Ireland is very famous for the hospitality. If you can handle the swearing and the crude humor, apparently, people will just invite you to do whatever.
We'd fit right in.
Like, yeah, they just like strangers.
Yeah, that's nice.
And they're willing to just have a beer with anybody.
Well, that's wonderful.
But if you bust in on my damn wedding, get the hell out. Like, that's crazy.
So I invite them to the reception. Anna, of course, just seems to be able to just destroy anything easily within a matter of seconds. So during the dance, her shoe flies off, hits the bride in the face, leaves a giant awful mark on her forehead.
More bad luck.
More bad luck. And then spills red wine all over her. So ruins the wedding, basically. Ruins the reception. And then just proceeds to get slammered. Like just drinking a bottle of whiskey out on the beach until Declan finds her. And then we get like a real... Like, I thought it was real cringy, like her, like kind of like about to hit on him, and talking about how he's such a beast and an awful person, but he's really just hiding the fact that he's,
She used the word beast in a lot of different ways.
Yeah,
in
it's
that
like
conversation.
She says you're beast, you're beastly, you're a beastie. There's a lot of beast going on. Is about to kiss him and then pukes all over his shoes, and that ends that. And we go to the next morning where he picks her up and carries her apparently back into town. And the next morning, everybody's fine. They're waiting for a bus. He falls asleep on the bench. She gets up, walks away. He wakes up. The bus leaves. At this point, this is like the only part of the movie where I felt any emotion. And I got real angry. I was like, she just left him at the bus stop? What is this horse shit? And then he gets up and he realizes that she left him. But she didn't. We see her come up behind him with coffee. And this is like a scene where she sees him distressed because he thinks that she left him and he's upset about it. And she gets another little sploosh face.
I have to tell you, I had to look this up. Amy Adams was just shy of 40 years old during this movie.
She looks great.
She does. If
anything, I'll say she was adorable in this movie. Like I like Amy Adams. Like, this movie, obviously not her best work.
The only reason...
But she's a great actress, and she's good in a lot of other things, and I do enjoy her.
See, I've never seen a movie with her... I don't say I dislike her, but I've never seen a movie with her that I'm like, I loved Amy Adams.
No, that's fair.
But I only bring up her age to say that she's about the same age I am right now.
Okay.
Hangovers are real.
Oh, yeah. She looks great for having just puked on a man's shoes hours before. Yeah.
Like, that would have... I have also... drank myself to the point where I've woken up on park benches. And you don't just hop up and look all fresh like that.
Do you think she was playing 40 in this? Because I didn't get the impression she was playing 40.
No, I think she was playing younger. I mean, she's over 50 now and she still looks like she's in her 30s. So good for her.
Is she really over 50?
Yeah, I think she's 51.
I'm going to have to look this up. I don't know if I believe any of that. She looks great. So he realized that she didn't leave him. She has a bus ticket for both of them. And like, this is it. Like, she's getting to Dublin and she still wants him to finish out the journey with her and buys him a ticket too. Which, I mean, I guess you're supposed to infer that like, this is kind of her way, because they are interested in each other at this point. This is her way to like kind of prolong things a little bit more.
Keep them around.
Yeah, exactly.
String them along.
Exactly. They finally get to Dublin. Finally. I say this movie was an hour and 40 minutes. I felt like I walked 4 hours across Dublin when this was over, like across Ireland.
Yeah, I texted you. I had watched an hour of this movie, And you said, well, I'm just getting started. And I said, sucker, you still have an hour more of me. This movie felt long.
Yeah. I felt like I was walking for hours in heels when this was over. So they get to Dublin, finally. You get a little bit of backstory on Declan. You find out that he was in love with a girl. They owned the bar together in Dingle. And she left him. Presumably for another guy that was also part owner of the bar.
Maybe they couldn't nag her every fucking day.
Yeah, right? So that's the impression you get. That's kind of why Declan is so shut off and like angsty. So we get that thrown in there and jammed in our faces real quick just for later. And we find out that there was also a little, as they're getting to know each other, Declan kind of says, you can tell a lot about a person by what they would take if their house was on fire, like what they would gather up. And he won't tell her at first what it is. Well, they finally get to the scene he's opening up more. And he tells her that his mother had a Claddagh ring, and that's what he would take. But we find out that this girl that left him took the ring with her, and it's in Dublin.
In which we go back to, if you leave your betrothed, they get to keep the ring. And I've never used betrothed in a sentence before.
You did it nicely.
Yeah, I feel good about this. The leaver does not get to keep the ring.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. It doesn't sound like especially if it was your mother's ring. You don't fuck
real.
off with the mother's ring.
Yeah, that woman doesn't deserve him. She's terrible too.
Yeah. So and Amy Adams says, well, you're in Dublin. That's the reason he didn't want to come to Dublin, because that's where she's at. So when he says there's a bunch of liars and cheats in Dublin, he didn't want to come to Dublin because she was there.
Yeah, there's only 9 people in Dublin.
No,
so he's bound to run into her.
Dublin's a pretty big city, CJ. The chances of them meeting up are not good. But they finally get to where Jeremy is staying for the conference, comes out, doesn't seem at all concerned that his girlfriend called him 3 days ago and said, I'll be there in 4 hours, and is just now showing up to the hotel. He meets Declan, and it's at this point, Jeremy, Amy Adams doesn't even have a chance to propose on Leap Day, because Jeremy says, I was thinking about it. I don't know why we're not married. The worst proposal ever. Like, I was kind of thinking about it. Why aren't we married? And then gets down on one knee and asks her. Amy Adams looks over her shoulder to see if Declan's still there. He's gone. Like, he couldn't stay around to watch this. She says yes. That bothered me.
It was the whole mission.
It was the whole mission, but you've gone through all this stuff with a complete stranger over 2 days, and you've clearly fallen in love with him. Why say yes to this guy? I say that sarcastically, but still, I didn't like...
I was wondering, I'm like, I don't know, maybe because she's been with him for a long time.
Well, I didn't like him either, and I don't know why she went to all this trouble to go and ask him to marry her, because I don't think she should have wanted to marry him after he gave her the earrings and just seemed like kind of a douche.
See, I think this is where we disagree.
Okay.
Adam Scott in this, Jeremy, I'm not a guy that I'd hang out with personally or think was an okay dude, but he's not a bad guy in this.
He's
just sort of clueless.
They didn't make you dislike him enough. You should not have liked him.
Yeah,
and they
should have
went to extra
or something.
They should have went to extra effort to make you not like him, but they really didn't do that. They kind of do it after the fact.
We all have friends. We were like, hey, like, why don't you propose to her or something? Like,
yeah,
it is. He's just sort of a clueless doof.
He is. Like, we get a reason to not like him after this scene.
See, even that reason I didn't feel was enough reason.
I didn't care for that. Let's get into it. So after this, we get another little kind of like bit of a montage, like seeing like where both their lives have gone. Declan is now, he didn't take the money for getting her all the way to Dublin. And God knows how he got back to Dingle after this, because he has no car. She didn't pay him for any of this. Now he has to get back, so hopefully he had some bus fare. I don't know. We get a scene where he tracks down his ex, calls her up and gets the ring back. We see Amy Adams goes back to Boston. They get the nice fancy apartment. Declan has no money, so the bar's still struggling. So he's kind of throwing like a fundraiser, like the bar's humming. When we first meet him in this bar, there's like 3 old guys and that's it. Now all of a sudden the place is teeming with people.
Yeah.
Place is teeming with people, and he's like got a donation jar. He's trying to get the money to save the bar. He eventually does, and actually one of the only other nice scenes of the movie, where he has the bucket and he gives it to the guy with all the money, and the guy kind of looks through it and goes, "You're short." And then all the little old men in the town that you meet in the bar all kind of stand up and like take a little bit of money out of their pockets and throw it in the bucket.
I do like the line when one guy, he throws like a 10 or 20 in the bucket, and he turns to the other guy, he goes, Nobody even knows what color your wallet is.
Yeah. Let's see the color of your wallet.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so they save the bar, which is cool. And then we get Anna and Jeremy are having a housewarming party because they got the apartment in the super nice apartment complex. It's at this point through conversation we find out that Jeremy only proposed because when the board called him to ask him some more questions, they were a little hesitant to give the apartment to a couple that wasn't married.
See, this just felt like more of a guy sticking his foot in his mouth sort of thing. It didn't seem like malicious.
It didn't, but it also didn't seem like he really wanted to marry her. It only seemed like he did it so they could get the apartment.
This story could have also ended with like 30 years of great marriage and 4 kids.
No.
No?
I didn't like any of it. So Anna gets upset by this. I think rightfully so. CJ apparently disagrees.
I think he loved her. I do.
I don't.
I don't think it was just like, I'm going to
think they
shack up
loved
with
each other.
Amy
I think
Adams
this was
so that
one
I
of
can
those-
get an apartment.
They were trying to be like a power couple. It was more like a status thing. Like they were both successful people of the same age and they wanted to be together and because they thought they had to be. She's like this big planner. She's meticulous. She wants to be married by this point. So she's found a guy who's secure and I don't think they needed to be together. But at this point she gets upset. What does she do? She pulls the fire alarm because she wants to see what Jeremy would grab in a fire. Is it something important? Is it something like, I don't know if she expected him to like pick her up and carry her out the door. But instead he starts gathering up like cameras and laptops and all this like material possessions that don't really mean anything.
But also, like, in his world, and 5 days before this, if that would have happened, she'd have been doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, probably.
Like, they were in a relationship and a
CJ.
contract with each other where they were the same type of shitty.
She's grown as a person, CJ. This whole movie is about personal growth.
2 days in Ireland. Apparently all it takes.
So, what would you grab if your house was on fire?
If my house was on fire, probably my wife. But I have had my house on fire. My wife wasn't there that night, thankfully. I grabbed the cats.
So that's good.
We do keep all the very most important documents are in a fire safe.
Yeah.
It's located. No, I'm not going to tell you where it's located. But
Go on.
we had this happen. My neighbor's house was burning down. So, it's 8 p.m. Suddenly my house fills with smoke. We lived in row houses.
Okay.
So they were literally sharing a wall. Yeah, and I had to wrestle my cats out from under the bed because they're freaked out. The house is filled with smoke.
Yeah. God, that's going
I
to be the
didn't
hardest
have a
thing.
cat carrier at handy, so I started throwing them in giant Tupperware containers. One of them ended up getting out of it anyway, so if the house did burn down, that cat would have died.
Jesus.
It was a whole fiasco. But yeah, I've been in this situation. It's the cats.
You know what I'd grab?
Me?
My copy of Leap Day on DVD. I'd get
Oh,
the hell out of the
jeez.
house. It's the only thing that means anything to me, CJ.
It's got to be a collector's item because they only sold that one.
Yeah, it can't be a lot. It's the best coaster I've ever had. So I'm not going to leave it behind. So she realizes that Jeremy is not the guy for her because he doesn't grab anything of importance or emotional value. So flash forward to Ireland again, and we're back at Declan's bar. Things are humming. The place is packed now. There are people everywhere.
Yeah, what did he change?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But he's chefing it up. He chefs real hard now. So he's chefing it up in the back kitchen.
Taking it seriously.
Yeah, like real serious. And one of the waitresses comes back and tells him that someone out there is complaining about how dry his chicken is. And like any reasonable person, he goes out ready to fight this person. Goes out into the dining room, is like, "Who said my chicken's dry? Who is it?
Fuck
Show
yeah.
your face."
This is how I picture Ireland.
Yeah, show
You
your
complain and they come out knuckles blazing.
show your face. Amy Adams says, "It was me. I was the one." And he socks her. No, he doesn't really. She says, "I've come here. I have a proposal for you. I spent my whole life making plans." She's like, "I want to not make plans with you. Like, I basically just want to," which is like a weird thing to say, but like more or less just saying, "I don't want to be so regimented. I want to have adventure. I want to be with you and like see where things go. Let's just see how it goes." He just walks off and like walks back into the kitchen. Doesn't say a word.
Yeah, not a, hey, I'll be right back.
Yeah, not just walks away and like fully expects her to just be like, "Oh, well, he'll be back." No, she is heartbroken that she flew all the way back to Ireland to basically tell this guy that she loves him. So she leaves the bar. Where does she go?
To the cliffs of Dover.
Pretty sure she was about to throw herself into the ocean.
Yeah, did you get that too? The cliffs of Dover, famous for lovelorn people throwing themselves off.
Yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, he did, like,
this went all the way.
yeah, like, you really took a hard turn and are just ready to, like, throw yourself off a cliff for some guy you've known for 3 days.
And, like, they didn't even sleep together. It was a kiss.
Yeah, a kiss.
Wow.
Not a good kiss. It was wooden. It was stiff. There was
It's the same way I kiss when Italian people are watching. Like, it is not a good one.
Thankfully, before she throws herself off this cliff to her death, Declan shows back up and just says, "Oh yeah, where'd you go?" "I was just going to get something," with no explanation. Gives her the Claddagh ring and said, well, he says, "I don't want to not make plans with you. I want to make plans with you." And then proposes to her with this ring, a woman he's also known for only 3 days.
And 90% of those 3 days were them just shitting all over each other.
Yeah, yeah. And it's
Slow down.
And it's at this point I had hoped a strong gust of wind would carry them both off the cliff to their deaths.
That's been a great ending.
And there they go. And that's how this movie fucking ends. We get like another little scene after that with them in the car, because apparently his car's fine now. It's the same car. And they are going to go on a little road trip, and they don't have a plan for it. They just throw the map out the window. A little Tu Wong Fu.
Yeah.
Just throw the map out the window, and off they go.
See how well that goes.
Yeah. So that's this movie, CJ. Meh. Yeah. Do you...
Thanks. Again.
Do you want... I'm sorry.
I'm blaming you.
I am sorry. Next St. Patrick's Day, we'll watch something better. I don't know what. Well, god damn. We'll figure it out. I apologize. I apologize to everyone. Not my best move.
Yeah,
a lot of mistakes
we're going
get
back
made.
to the random number generator after this.
A lot of mistakes get made on St. Patrick's Day. This was one of them. So, would you like to give this thing any roses, CJ? Any grand gestures for this movie before it hurls itself off a cliff into the darkness?
I'd like to say one of the things was, yes, it's a 4 hour and 17-minute trip from Dingle to Dublin. It's directly across the country. This didn't need to be 3 days. Like, the amount of bad decisions that people made during this. But also, as you said, it's 3 days that they're together. Is it even 3 days? It's 2 days.
The timeline's real fuzzy on this one. Like, there was not really a whole lot of thought put into any of this.
I think there's a person on this planet that I'd be around for 2 days that I'm ready to just uproot my life for. That sounds dumb. And I'm a person who notoriously doesn't like people for long times.
Yeah.
I literally married my wife after an 18-hour road trip. Like, I realized, like, I need to marry this woman.
Because you could tolerate her for those 18 hours?
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So for 2 days with another person, and almost all of that 2 days is terrible, like, where do they get off? What the hell's wrong with these people?
It's just, they're the worst. I keep coming back to this thing, like, I don't know how many, what are we in, like 11, 12 movies in, I feel like at this point, I'm not even sure.
16.
No, it's not.
Feels like it. This movie felt like
This
4.
movie was like 6 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm starting to notice the theme here where the awful people seem to end up together, and
Good. Take them off the market.
and if you are just constantly rude to someone, eventually they'll ask you to marry them. So
Nagging works.
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting.
it does. That's I don't know.
It's a sad world.
I don't have much. I got nothing. Like, the only thing I thought was interesting and good on this guy, Matthew Good, the guy that played Declan,
Yes.
has nothing nice to say about this movie.
Oh, this I did read. Yes.
The only reason he took this role was because he would be close to his home country, or he lives in England, and he'd be able to go there on the weekends. So he took this job, not wanting to do this movie, but basically just so he could see his family, and it was better than working like somewhere else in the world.
Good for him.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's one way to earn a paycheck, but yeah, holy shit, this movie. I don't know. Let's try to make it better. Let's turn this chick flick into a dick flick, CJ. I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
This one was tough. Everything about this was tough to figure stuff out. I got to a point where I was like, do I really want to put emotional energy into this? But I'm dedicated.
There you go.
The way that I would do this would be, rather than a west to east journey, let's make it a north to south journey.
Okay.
And also put it in the year 1928
Okay.
during the War of Irish Independence or the Great Irish Civil War.
Okay.
So instead of them trying to beat her bad luck across the country, they are literally traveling through war zones.
Oh, nice.
Instead of her shoe coming off and hitting the bride in the face, they find a small wedding and the shelling begins. Everywhere they go, her bad luck is literally people randomly exploding.
Oh, yeah, that would make it more enjoyable.
I would like to see that, and I hate to make fun of what was actually a very gruesome war, but honestly, there's not enough movies about the war.
No.
So let's have one where Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. There's no
Amy
Mick in there. I know you want to throw Mick in because it's Ireland, but no,
Yeah.
it's just Adams.
Where Amy Adams is trying to find her love across the battlefield.
Okay.
That's
I mean,
where I went with it.
if during this movie, like every so often someone randomly exploded, I would have had a much better time. So
Also, well, they do. We didn't even talk about this. This man grabs a chicken by the head and just cracks its neck.
that was a weird move, like right in
It
front
was
of
a
her.
weird power play.
Yeah, I mean they were making
And I
dinner.
had to rewind to see if she had a facial sploosh during that moment.
No, she was scared in that moment. I feel like she was startled,
Yes.
and rightfully so.
This is not a strong move to impress the ladies.
No,
It's
yeah.
like, hey, I have no problem
Yeah, and just to put
killing
it
a chicken.
just to put it in context, they were making dinner at the bed and breakfast they were staying at, and they did have a farm. Like they were picking the vegetables. They were, you could tell they were gathering all the ingredients, and these chickens were for eating. At least I think they were, or else he just murdered someone's pet. But
Oh, how cool would that have been?
yeah, like they're like, where'd our chicken go? Where's Harriet? I don't understand where the chicken went. But yeah, he picks up this chicken, walks over, and then just snaps its neck right in front of her with no warning. Like, you at least turn your back to her while you
And
do that.
this shows how tough Irish people are, apparently.
I don't know what. It shows that he's a
Just people that can
psychopath.
snap a chicken at any given
It
moment.
just shows that he's a psychopath, if anything else.
But sorry, that derailed me for a second.
No, that's fine. I'm glad you brought that up because I did have that in my notes and forgot to bring it up. So my chick flick to a dick flick, like you said, this movie was hard because there was really no redeeming qualities about this movie that I could think of that were like I could turn it into something like that a guy would enjoy, because there's nothing here to enjoy. Like you can't polish a turd, as they say. You can't make it any better if it's this. At least I just don't. If it's this crappy, there's nothing good about it. But I think what I would do is closer to the beginning of the movie, when she leaves Wales on that little ship, the little fishing boat,
Okay.
and the storm comes. I would like to get her shipwrecked, and I would kind of turn this into a castaway, like Tom Hanks scenario, where it's like Amy Adams, like on a beach by herself, with like, you know, a couple of these like crew members that were on this boat. Maybe none of them survived. You know, she has to resort to like eating the bodies at some point
Holy cow.
just to survive. You know,
This movie took you to dark places.
instead of a volleyball, she has like, because it is like they were heading to Ireland. Like she has like a little potato, and she draws a face on it. And
That's
she
racist.
calls him Spud. Like that's like her only friend on the island. And this entire time, her future husband Jeremy is not concerned at all that she's been missing for like 2 years. And then when she finally does show up again, he's like, "Babe, where have you been? Like I was getting ready to send out the search party. Like it's been 2 years, Jeremy."
She's got a full beard.
And then like Declan is still in the movie, but she imagines him. Like he becomes like a hallucination on the island, and she falls in love with this imaginary man.
He's actually a potato. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah, like Declan the potato. Yeah, like that's where I'd go with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
This movie took you to a weird place, man.
This movie didn't take me anywhere. That's why I had to just so I could feel something. I had to go real deep. All right.
This was actually the hardest movie to ever place Nicolas Cage in.
Really? Tell me where you put him.
I mean, I wouldn't want to take John Lithgow out of this movie because he's actually one of the few bright spots.
Even him though, like he's
Where
barely in
I
it.
want Nicolas Cage is, I want him to be the stereotype Italian guy.
that is like hard makes out with his wife.
I want him to hard make out with the wife, but then like I also want him, like when he's egging them on to make out, like I want him to get real fucking creepy about it. Kind of drooling a little bit while he
Yeah.
watches them make out.
Like his hands under the table and his arms moving a little bit. And you're just kind of like, what is he doing down there?
Yeah, where like the end of the table, after all of that, he looks around the table and he's just kind of like, so, this gonna happen? Like, points to everybody, all 6 of them.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't gonna happen tonight?
What kind of bed and breakfast is this,
We gonna
sir?
make ourselves into like a Claude knot tonight, or is that
Oh.
Celtic knot? Claude knot?
Bippity boppity. It's a Celtic knot.
A Celtic knot?
Yeah. All right. Wow. That's. I thought mine took me to some weird places. So I went ahead and connected Nicolas Cage to this movie in pretty short order. There's an actor named Pat LaFawn. He plays a character named Donald. He's the drunk guy at the bar, the drunk Irish guy.
The one that falls on
The
his
one
face?
that falls on his face. He
Nice.
offers to give her a ride, and he stands up and just immediately falls over. Nice Irish stereotype.
Yeah.
If you thought me saying she befriended a potato was racist, this whole movie treats every Irish guy except for Declan like they're just old drunk men.
Yeah.
But he was in a movie called The Saint with Val Kilmer,
Oh, with
where he played a Catholic priest, because apparently if you're an Irish actor, you've got a couple roles. It's drunk or Irish priest or both. Drunk Irish priest. And Val Kilmer is in Bad Lieutenant Port of Call, starring Nicolas Cage.
Oh, you went right there.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
easy. Yeah, I couldn't. I mean,
One of the few Nicolas Cage movies I've never seen.
I haven't either, actually. I know it's a sequel to like an older movie.
So tune in next week for Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call.
No, I'd love to, but no.
No.
All right. Well, CJ, before we leap into ratings,
Don't bring that kind of energy.
I just want to remind everyone, check us out on the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Rate us, review us, tell your friends. We appreciate everybody. We just hit 500 downloads, which was super exciting for us. Getting people from all over listening, different countries.
Trinidad.
We've got a new listener in Glasgow, Scotland. So hello, and hit us up. You've gotmails@yahoo.com. We would love to hear from some of you people and see how you found us, why you're listening to us.
Hell yeah.
That'd be great. If you got any good Scottish romance movies that you could turn us on to get the taste of this Irish one out of our mouth, that'd be spectacular. So yeah, please hit us up, rate us, review us, let us know where you're at. And with that said, let's rate this thing.
0.5.
Holy shit! Is that the lowest yet for a movie?
For me, yeah. This one was worse than The Notebook. It was worse than Step Up, which was probably the other terrible movie we saw.
What did we rate One Runaway Bride? We didn't like that one very much, but I don't think 0.5. I think
No, I think I might have given that a little over a 2.
yeah, you might have liked that one. I know I rated that one pretty low.
I didn't like it, but it wasn't offensive. This one, it's going to a 0.5 for 2 reasons. One, I'm sure we'll see a movie that's worse than this, so I don't want to set the floor. And 2, about 7 to 8 seconds of Flogging Molly. I really love that.
That's where
band.
the 0.5 comes in?
Yeah, that's about it. Those are my 2 reasons for giving this anything at all.
All right. I accept that. God, a 0.5. I did not like this movie. But like I said, this is the beige of movies. It's not anywhere near good. It doesn't do anything good. It's not a good movie. But it's not even so bad that it's good that it's bad. It's if meh was a movie. But I think I'm going to give it a 1.
1?
Yeah, God, I don't even I'd love to give this movie a 0, but I don't think it was that has to be the worst movie I've ever seen and has to make me so angry and just offend me on levels that I don't even know exist yet. This movie was just there. So I feel a 1 is reasonable. A 1 is just meh. Like I said, I did say there was a couple little scenes that I enjoyed. It made me feel a little something. I didn't go through the whole movie without feeling anything. So
I felt hungry. Felt sleepy.
I feel those things on a normal basis.
Yeah.
That's not. But this movie invoked a few times where I was like, "Huh, that's nice." I give it 1 star for Ireland. Just the beautiful countrysides, the town of Dingle, the Irish accents, the castle, even though it was CGI. It made me want to go to Ireland. This was a great propaganda movie for Ireland, is what I would call it. It made me want to go to Ireland.
Maybe tourism, not propaganda. They're stalling.
I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, a 1. I give it a 1.
All
so with
right.
that being said, let's roll our next.
Oh.
Let's get the taste of this movie out of our mouths, CJ. Let's go to the Google random
Boy.
number generator.
God, I hope this is a good one.
We are up to 203 movies on the list.
203. All right, let's see what happens here.
Drum roll, please.
We are movie number 73.
73.
Have we ever rolled over 100?
I think so. That's higher than we've been rolling, though. I'm getting there. Ooh, 73. Never Been Kissed.
Never Been Kissed. Julia Stiles?
I think Drew
No.
Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
Is that right?
This is one where she pretends to be a high schooler.
Oh, have you seen this?
No, I think they make fun of this and not another teen movie.
Okay. All right. So this is from 1999. A newspaper reporter enrolls in high school as part of research for a story. Oh, Drew Barrymore, David Arquette,
Oh.
John C. Reilly,
Love him.
Gary Marshall is in this movie.
He's in this movie?
Yeah, he did not direct, so that's interesting. We get a Gary Marshall acting credit here. That's about it as far as like the big names. Octavia Spencer.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there are definitely some people in this movie. Lily Sobieski.
Oh, love her.
Yeah, so I mean, this could be fun. I am finding that like 90s era so far has been kind of my sweet spot as far as these movies go. Like if nothing else, I enjoy the aesthetic, and I kind of like the just the back and forths we have in that particular era.
Okay, yeah, I could go with that. And you know what? Drew Barrymore of like the, what do we call them? Romance queens? She's one of the better ones, I think.
I don't know that I've ever seen a Drew Barrymore movie where that was
50
a
First Dates.
Ah, yes, okay.
Yeah, she's good. She's got a little bit of comedy chops.
Yeah, she was enjoyable in that. All right, so there we go. Yeah. Next week, we've got Never Been Kissed, everybody. It has to be better than Leap Year.
My God.
I'm confident in that much.
Yeah, I've had bouts of food poisoning better than Leap Year.
Jesus. All right, well, until next time, everybody. Stay romantic. Don't be shitty to each other.
Get on that dingy to dingle.